1.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the annual board meeting of the New York State Bridge Authority. Today we have election of officers, and we'll start with that before we proceed into our regular meeting. I'd like to call, I'll be acting chairman as of right at this moment, and I'm to be acting vice chairman too. So, saying that, I'll call the meeting to order. Someone's second it?
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. We have election of chairman.
I'll nominate Mr. Gerantine. Great.
Second.
Anyone like to close the motion?
Secretary cast one ballot.
All in favor?
Aye.
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you very much. I know probably all three of you would love to be chairman. And you can take my place at any time if you like. Next, we have election of vice chairman. Rod, you'd like to make a motion for vice chairman?
Move Joe Maggio as vice chair.
Second?
Second.
Oh, yeah. Any discussion? Any other nominees? If not, close.
I move we close the nominations.
All in favor?
Aye.
Congratulations, Joe.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
You want to say a speech now or later?
No,
Get the same raise and pay.
yeah, no increase.
Next, secretary. Secretary would be,
I believe our
I had not.
Joe Ruggiero.
okay.
We actually have a resolution, Mr. Chairman, that would move Vice Chairman, Secretary, General Counsel, Treasurer, if you want to move the resolution.
Okay, let's move all those resolutions. Rod, please, on all those titles.
Yeah, I moved the full slate as submitted in our packet here.
Okay, and then just read who they are, Vice Chairman.
Joe Maggio is vice chair, secretary Joe Ruggiero, general counsel Carl Whitbeck, and treasurer is Brian Bouchard.
Any discussion or second to that, please?
I'll second that.
Second, any discussion? If not, roll call. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Next, we have appointments of the board, the audit committee. We have a resolution before us to have the audit committee of being Roger Higgins, Zane Lashua, and Joe Romaglia as the authorities audit committee. Moved by,
So move.
second. And also Roger will be chairman of that committee. Any other discussion? If not, roll call. Actually, I need a second.
Second.
Okay. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Next, we have the Finance Committee. I move that we resolve to have that myself, Rod Dressel, and Joe Romaglia be appointed to the Finance Committee, and Rod Dressel serve as chairman of the Finance Committee.
So move.
Second.
Second. Any discussion? If not, roll call. All in favor say aye.
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 Next would be the Governance Committee, which would be myself, Roger Higgins, and Dane Lashua, with myself as being chairman of the Governance Committee. Moved by?
So move.
So moved. Second.
Second. Discussion? If not, roll call. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Next, we have a resolution to conduct our business on 12 regular monthly meeting dates. And they're all right here into this resolution, starting with June 20th, all the way to May 15th, 2014.
So move.
Second.
Any discussion? If not, roll call. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Next, we have the resolution regarding the Public Authorities Law, which appoints or designate one or two people as police officers for the Bridge Authority. That we give that power to executive director, and he is authorized to direct any necessary measures to implement this resolution.
So moved the resolution of the nomination Terrence Holm, Brad Barrett, and Salvador Russo.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Second.
Actually, there was three of them. Brad Moore and Salvatore Russo, right? I'm sorry. Second, Joe? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And the last one before we start our regular meeting would be the annual stormwater management report. This is a report that is filed each year with New York State Department of Environmental Conservation. It has been completed and currently posted on our website. This we had a public comment, and at this time we would like to make a motion to close that public comment, correct?
Correct, and for the record, for the minutes, the Bridge Authority received no comment from any member of the public on this resolution.
In writing or otherwise.
Saying all that, does someone move this, please?
moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? If not, roll call. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much. Now we'll start with our regular May 16th board meeting. Let me introduce all the new members of New York State Board. We have Commissioner Rod Dressel, Commissioner Lane Lashua, Assistant Executive Director Tara Sullivan. Have that title correct?
It's good enough.
Okay. We also have our newly Vice President, or Vice Chairman, sorry, Joe Maglia. We have our counsel, Carl Whitback, and our Executive Director, Joe Ruggiero, and myself, Richard Cherokee, as Chairman. With that, let's adopt the regular meeting of April 18th, board meeting.
I move the minutes of the April 18th meeting.
Second,
Second.
any discussion? If not, roll call. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Next, we have a report here, NWBE utilization and final reporting for the year 2012-13, from Tara.
Yeah, I guess we'll share it. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, Tara has headed up our initiative to try and get closer to meeting the governor's goal of 20% utilization on our minority and women-owned business enterprises. And you can see from the memo that she provided that we've made some great strides in the last 5 years toward that, and primarily in the last year and a half. There are certain expenditures that we do exclude from that goal plan. There are certain non-discretionary type expenses that we have with our utilities and so forth that aren't included. But we, of the nearly $18.4 million that was spent, that is subject to utilization. You can see that we were actually just under, rounded up to 15% in the fiscal year, state's fiscal year, 2012-13. Of course, we operate on a calendar year, but we report to the state on the state's fiscal year. So we've come from roughly just over 4%, 4.5% to nearly 15% in this past year, and I think that's worth noting that. All the departments under Tara's leadership and guidance have done really well in attempting to push us toward that 20% goal, and we're going to do everything we can to continue that. So there's no resolution involved with this. It was just merely an update for you as part of our annual goal plan update.
And last month, I was not at this meeting because we were receiving an award for all of the work that has been reflected in this past year by the New York, well, what we got as an award was called the New York Transportation Leaders Award, and it was awarded by the New York chapter of the Conference of Minority Transportation Officials. So
Congratulations on all your hard efforts, you and Bob and the whole agency.
It really is a collective effort all around.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
We don't need a resolution with this, correct?
No.
Correct.
Okay. Next.
All right.
Engineering.
Good afternoon, everyone. Got a pretty easy agenda for you this afternoon. First item is a proposal we put out to bid for our maintenance paint purchase for this season. It's, of course, system-wide. Throughout, we received the 4 bids that are attached to the memo, with Ennicon providing the lowest bid at a price of $35.47 a gallon.
Sherman Williams.
Oh, yeah, I guess I read the first one, didn't I? So the lowest bid was the second guy on the sheet, right, at $34.70 a gallon. Sorry about that. Total cost, $21,687.50.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? No, all
I
in
guess
favor,
the
say aye.
employees like applying that kind of paint, Joe?
I don't know. That seems,
This is a
those are in-house.
This is a paint, it's a waterborne acrylic paint, so there's no solvents, doesn't stink, it doesn't have a short shelf life. If you get it on your hands, you don't wear it for 3 weeks. If you ate some, it won't bother your digestive tract,
Really?
and it performs outstanding. Yes, sir.
The bridges wear it for more than 6 weeks.
Yep. Our first application was in 1992 down on the Newburgh Beacon Bridge, so we're upwards of 20 years of
It
service.
appears it does resist rust then.
It's outperformed every other paint that we've tried in the last 25 years, so that's why we're continuing to pursue that. Did I interrupt the resolution?
No? Because they have to get to all these questions answered. I'm sorry. Any other questions? If not, roll call, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Next up is the Mid-Hudson, the wind tongue. This is a tongue and groove type of a load transfer device. It collects the wind forces from the span in between towers and puts them into the tower and, of course, down into the foundation. What we have on Mid-Hudson is a little unusual. Most spans have a fixed end and an expanding end. Since it's a suspension bridge, what we have on the Mid-Hudson is 2 expansion ends. One of them got rusty back in the 60s, which, of course, we noted through our expansion joint measurements multiple times throughout the year, different temperatures. But the other side was moving, fine. So for 30 years, we were thinking we were fine with this, anomaly. But last year, there was some cracking that was discovered in the tower that was frozen. We went ahead and rebuilt that whole tongue and groove wind device. And then we had some corrosion on the other tower, the western tower. We went over to fix what we thought was a nominal corrosion plate and discovered cracks similar to the other tower, just a little more premature in their nature. But understanding how this works now, the newly rehabilitated tongue and groove was going to work fine, and this other one that's been doing all the work all these years was creaking and groaning, and I'm sure it would just seize up because it would be much more friction on the one that we didn't rebuild yet. So we would just go back to the same condition we had. It would just be reversed. So I spoke with our executive director and Carl Whitbeck. We thought it was, and the chairman, we thought it was best to go ahead and double our efforts to solve this problem once and for all. But we were able to come up with a repair that was a little cheaper than the first one since we understood the problem better. So what we're asking today is a increase in the contract amount of $939,000, increased by $150,000 to $1,089,000 to fix the other tower.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you.
Just has been any interference with the project, what to do with the paving down there in any way?
This is here. This is
Oh,
here
down this way.
on the Mid-Hudson, so no interference with any other, and it's underneath, no traffic lane closures required.
All right.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? If not, roll call, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Next?
Next up, we have Project Night Watch in 2 pieces. Project Night Watch, as many of you know, is a non-manned toll collection operation that's overseen remotely by our command center. We've been underway with various test and prototype applications at Kingston for the last 6 months or so now, working out all the bugs. So we'd like to expand this project to our other 2 smaller facilities, Bear Mountain and Rip Van Winkle. All of the consultants involved would remain in the same role as the consultants that perform the work for us at Kingston. We need some security enhancements because of the unmanned nature. Fire alarms, of course, no one's there to hear them, so we need them to be remotely monitored. And the condition of the deck. Our toll collectors typically are our eyes and ears during the winter to call in maintenance as required for road maintenance. So We have some remote control devices that can handle those tasks, and they're itemized on the second page of my memo, and total a price of $156,616.47. And we'd like to go ahead with those purchases and move those tasks along.
It's 3 resolutions.
There's 3 resolutions that's broken down into Trentine of $102,950. Visalia Weather Station,
Lysala.
Lasala, I'm sorry, $50,400. An ADT fire alarm hookup at the Kingston Rhinecliff Bridge at $30,266.47.
3,000.
3,200.
You said 30,000.
No, I'm sorry. $3,266.47 for a total of $156,616.47. So someone make a motion for all 3 resolutions?
I so moved.
Second?
Second.
Any other discussion? Now roll call. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. The other part of the same project is the hardware and software part, a little more challenging. The software development has been under the guise of TTI, our general software consultant that does all of our toll plaza work at this time. And the actual equipment itself, the coin machine, the modification of the booth, to create a new hole for the machine to fit. Our overarching IT consultant, Dr. Ted Mankiewicz, has a role of oversight and quality control. And then our in-house computer technicians, will be doing everything they can, including installing new cameras and antennas and decals and interface panels for the PLC to keep our costs as low as possible. So our in-house hardware costs are $49,500. Dr. Mankiewicz, $33,000. Paul Fittings, $57,000. Hamilton, the coin machines for the 2 installations, $41,290, and the software development from TTI estimated at $150,000. So we'd like to take these as a package budget, and there's just a single resolution for this group acquisition.
Proposition, the resolution.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? If not, the resolution for $330,790. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. As far as our jobs in progress, we're expecting to begin some blasting operations towards the end of next week down at the Newbrook Beacon Bridge. This is the second year of a $20 million lead abatement and repainting project up the north span. The south span project, of course, the larger of the 2 with the deck replacement. We've been meeting weekly with the contractor, developing schemes, sequence of operations, shop drawing details. So they've been out surveying, measuring, trying to make sure everything's going to fit just perfectly. But you don't see a lot of activity, but we are making modest progress the last month. So.
Chairman, just a quick note on Mr. Moreau's report. When he says blasting, you mean paint, sand blasting, not TNT blasting.
Yes. Thank you.
We actually got that question last year. So.
Note for operations, I just happened to stop in at the bridge this morning, the headquarters, and when the contractors are coming in there, it's a nightmare for the staff there. I mean, they're not a nightmare.
We have a secure facility, and
They're
very
punching in all the contractors, and I volunteered to do some button pushing if they needed it, but it's really they're distracted because they let me in and then ran back to the window to check the contractors. And, it might be something to think about.
Well, we're attempting to improve our efficiency and coordination between the office. This is our first year of having a 100% secure facility, and as you can imagine, with $113 million worth of work going on in 2 different operations, it's a challenge, and we hope to get better.
And all the individuals involved, it's good.
Right.
For the first time, the Bridge Authority will know actually all the contractors on all its facilities at all times. We just went through and we developed a whole program and working with Port Authority, we implemented what they call SWAC security level, and contractors had to get pre-cleared, and they had to come up here and get contractor vendor IDs, and that way we all know who's on the facilities at all times. So
It's really important in the event of an
I mean,
incident
but
where
just
you
at-
gotta.
at
Yeah, it's a burden.
opening time,
It's
you know, it's
certainly a burden.
It's stressful. I can
We'll
see that.
we're going to try to work to
hope today.
to alleviate that part.
I didn't help a bit.
So you did.
We're not actually sandblasting, right?
It's actually Black Beauty.
Right.
Actually, it's metal shot. I'm sorry.
Right. Metal
It's
shot
recycled,
blasting.
and
Right.
and then we don't have all that disposal. So another slang term. Sorry about that. But there is a resolution associated with our.
Moved by Joe. Second.
Second.
Any discussion? If not, all in favor, say aye.
I guess the only other thing I would like to mention, because I think Mr. Dressel had asked at the last meeting, the Washington Street entrance to the walkway, there was some abutment repair, concrete work that the walkway group had requested that we perform, and you had approved it probably 2 months ago now, and the project got unstuck, so we expect to progress with that next month and stabilize that wall.
21 now. It went up some from the original one.
No, but
Anyway,
we expect to complete that within our budget, but it stabilizes the slope that they hope to landscape and provide seating for, so we didn't want people sitting with their back to the slope and then bits and pieces of things roll down the slope. Because the wall is supposed to be stabilizing the slope, and the wall itself is crumbling, so we'll
I'm
get
pleased
that.
to hear it.
We'll get that wrapped up.
Bill, before you go, there was some concerns regarding some potholes down the Newburgh Beacon Bridge. I actually went over a couple days ago, and I see most of them, or all of them probably, are all repaired.
We've been working every Friday night to keep up with. This is the season. This is spring rains and pothole season. So, yes, unfortunately, we are suffering a rash of that type of maintenance headache. But we're working every Friday night to try to keep the congestion down and lane closures to a minimum. So we expect in 2 weeks we should have pretty much everything that we've seen crumble, restored. But it's only a one night a week progress, so it's a little bit slow.
Any other questions? Yes,
Well, it's related, but I wondered about if we do go in, who needs a badge? Who needs for
We have
access?
a series of steps. If you're going to be supervised, by like you're a heating or pumping out our sewage our sewage septic systems, and there'll be somebody with you. There's a level of security, and a day badge is all that goes with that.
We could give you the policy we just adopted and show you the different level of badges given out to vendors depending on the duration of their stay, and like Bill's saying, and depending on where they're working.
Right.
If we're
Critical
secure area,
area,
non-secured area.
non-secure, right.
Yeah.
Whether you're
Big
supervised
Bang
or
did it for
not.
himself, the badge for himself.
No,
I don't know if he'll pass clearance, but we'll try.
I was just concerned because I actually went around the barrier, drove in the parking lot, went up to the door. I could have had a load of something if I went, but it was just a random visit, and she asked actually if I had a badge, and
If you'd like one, we'd be happy to take your picture.
I have an ID. I just
Yeah, you should have.
But your
Commissioner's
your
badge.
commissioner ID would suffice
Yeah.
for entrance to obviously any area.
Just don't ask to go out there all by yourself.
okay.
That would be
Thank you, Bill.
something else. Thank
That's
you.
more safety issue.
Right.
Brian?
Good afternoon. First item up is the monthly investment report for April. There were 4 investments in the month. The routine debt service, 2 to maintenance, and 1 to the construction fund. Those investments are reflected in the investment inventory report. As you can see in the construction and maintenance funds, we still have approximately $101 million remaining in those funds. For the month, we had yields holding constant on those investments at 0.37%.
Any questions?
So moved.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Okay, the next item up is the quarterly operations report. For the first 3 months of the year, traffic declined by 3.93%. This was a decrease in both passenger and commercial traffic, 3.94 and 3.82% respectively, although toll revenue has increased 6.74. This is primarily as a result of the toll increase taking place on January 30th of 2012, so we have 3 full months this year as opposed to just slightly over 2 months last year under the revised toll schedule. Operating expenses are currently running approximately $274,000 higher than prior year. This can be attributed to the higher estimated cost for the New York State Retirement System payment in 2013, as well as an increase for some insurance costs related to legal matters. In addition to that, capital improvements are running almost twice what they were last year, associated with the increased activities in the capital program from both the redecking and the painting projects. There's no action required by the board. It's purely solely for information purposes.
Any questions? If not, thank you, Brian.
Very good. Thank you.
Next, Greg, Homeland Security Grant Report.
Good afternoon. It's my pleasure to sit here and not ask for something for a change, but rather bring you a report. I'm here to notify you that the 2008 Homeland Security grant secured through the Port Authority with help from the U.S. Coast Guard has been completed. The total project amount had been $4,600,000. We've expended that amount. The grant match back to the authority was $3,450,000, with our outlay being $1,150,000. With those monies, we were able to accomplish far more than we had set out to do. We equipped 3 facilities with security cameras, other security devices, enhanced the systems at the 2 larger bridges, and were able to construct and populate the command center. We had several individuals in from the Coast Guard earlier this week. They commended us on a job well done. They were very impressed with what we had accomplished, to the point of, it's nice to get the pat on the back every once in a while. So the next move is to then coordinate with them to help enhance our security monitoring, and that'll be taking place in the next couple weeks. So the project is complete. There is no resolution. This was informative only.
Very good job, Greg, and your staff, and everybody else to help you.
Thank you.
Next, report to the board from the executive director.
No monthly expense reports to discuss with the board, and you have your monthly traffic and revenue analysis report. And April seemed to reverse the many-month decline we saw in traffic. And April was the first month in about 7 months where we actually posted a year-over-year gain in traffic, and hopefully continue to see that upward ticking to help stabilize toll collections. But that's pretty much it. Yes, sir.
I just heard a report, I think it was the Transportation Authority, said that American driving was down. Actually, Americans are driving fewer miles now across the country.
I'm sure the high price of gasoline has contributed to that. Well, mostly in our area of the country. I'm sure in the other parts of the country where there is very little public transportation, that's the case. I also have included here a copy of the Easy Pass sales analysis. We continue to sell Easy Pass in the lane. When we will continue, sales are still pretty robust. We're averaging about 1,000 tags a month, which is significant. Hopefully we're going to be able to see some shift in the market share between cash and Easy Pass tags. Especially there's a lot of talk really beginning to build momentum in the state and the other authorities about all electronic tolling and other initiatives. So it'd be good to be positioned to handle that if and when that comes.
Any other questions? Thank you, Joseph. Next, any new business? Old business? Any presentation by the board? Attorney-client privilege? Nothing? Good. Any other announcements? If not, the motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second? Second. All in favor? Our next meeting will be June 20th at 3 o'clock. Thank you. Have a nice week. month,
Okay.
whatever.
Thank you, everyone.